I've still got a problem with tea. I drink too much of it. G'day patrons and welcome. I'm sorry it's been a couple of months since I posted a video for you to tell you where I'm up to. And there's been quite a lot happening, although the problem with car stuff is it takes a long time to do, so you know, it's a difference between releasing little bits of content that might not be meaningful, but they've taken a lot of work and a lot of time to do. So I had the glass fitted to the XC, the front and rear glass. That's a new tinted band laminated, and had the rear screen refitted. And the same with the Sigma. I got that done at the same time. And so that means I can just push ahead with both of them. Space is always going to be a problem here, so dragging the XC out is dependent on good weather and this sort of stuff. And you know, that's just the way it is. The bikes I haven't touched. I cleared the 350 tank. I think you saw that. I do have to rub it back and give it another coat of clear. I'm going to flow coat it just to get it looking really good, if you know what I mean. The 750 I haven't touched. And this thing, this is Dave's XL250 engine. This one, we're still waiting on the crankshaft to get back because it's had new bearings pressed on and conrod and all that sort of stuff. I've had the case hydroblasted, so it got away from the paint. Just because I wasn't really happy with how the paint looked, and it just wasn't good enough, you know what I mean? So that'll arrive sooner or later, sooner hopefully than later. The Falcon, the XC, I've got the other door trims and Jason's got those, and Jason is a guy who works very hard. He works earth moving equipment, so you give him a job and you just have to wait till he's done it, and there's no bones with that. I was annoyed actually because I bought the black carpet for it, and I got additional black carpet for the door cards, but I wasn't sure that I liked the green door trim with the black door card carpet. And I found a place that then had pale green ones, and I got them to send them the samples out, and they were just too cerulean, if you know what I mean, like the Holden colour, VL Commodore, VK Calais, you know, those sorts of cars have this cerulean colour which is beautiful, but it doesn't match. So we're going to go with the black, and I've told Jason that the sample got here and it's not much good. I think I can get the right colour for the Sigma though, so I'm not too concerned with that. I'm almost ready to paint. In fact, I'm planning to prime the Sigma's engine bay tomorrow, and that will divulge any other bits and pieces that I have to finesse, if you know what I mean, and there's going to be a few. That being said, I'm not doing that car to the quality that I've done the two Fords. I just don't think it's worth it because of what it is, and also it's supposed to be quick, and it has been pretty quick. I think I've only been on it a month or so, and it's already starting to be reassembled. So there's a lot of what is it? What's that thing? There's a lot of parts to get for it in relation to, you know, doing it. The front end's completely hatted. You know, ball joints like this, which have all sorts of play in them. They're rusty and all that sort of stuff. I've bought a couple of ball joints, put them in the arms. I'm not powder coating arms. I'm not painting them or anything like that. The engine bay will look good, but the suspension will have all new rubbers and ball joints and tie rod ends and that sort of stuff. So that car will be easier once I get the front end back in it and I can wheel it around, because dragging it around on a jack's a pain. I've had to do it a couple of times, bring it in the garage. I need to get some more clear to do the engine bay in the car, in the Sigma, and at the same time I'll do the 350 tank again and the scuttle for the XC, because the scuttle is just almost impossible to polish. But it's all getting there, you know, it's slow. And I kind of like the slow stuff. The XC, well, there's a couple of things. The Sigmas ended up attracting more views than the Falcon. Not in the interim, because people were keen on that, but the Falcon was supposed to be a 2-year resto, like the XW was, but I'm in the 4th year now. Because I've taken on other jobs, because I was a bit concerned with the amount of things I found wrong with it in terms of people's errors. And I will apologise in advance if anyone saw Jason's video where Jason shot a video and, well, we didn't know the camera was on. And we were saying all sorts of things, and some wasn't very nice about the cars, and the fact that all these errors had come up and you're kind of doing jobs twice, and it just becomes disconcerting when you think you got something. Because when I bought the shell, it was rust-free and straight, and I thought, this is a bonus. But the amount of metal I had to cut out of it because of the last guy that had it, do you know what I mean? And there was all sorts of issues like that that have compounded it along the way, doors and all this sort of stuff, which became tedious. And I started doing the boot, and I've even stopped on that. So it's a matter of getting back into that thing. But every time you conquer that what do you call it, that hurdle, it gives you a new sense of invigoration. So I'm really happy with how that's looking now. It's looking really, really good. I'll show you the glass. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Peel this back, and you can see how gorgeous that looks. With the new painted mouldings that I was given from that wonderful gentleman. He was the guy that took the GSX 400 bike, and he gave me these mouldings. And John Parnas was another one that donated some as well. So I've used the best of what I had, the straightest of what I had. I painted them in a hurry. The paint's good on them, although the back, if you look at the back one, if I pull that up, it's come off at the very top, but I can touch that up, I'm not worried. I've stuck a louver in it, and of course, wonderful Scott and his Coldwell Motors sticker. He sent me 2 of those, and I said to him, I'll stick one on the XC because it deserves it. The Sigma's not deserving of a Coldwell Motors sticker. And he said, no, put it on, put it on. So he was all right with it. Well, he said anything I'm doing is worthy of it, which was really, really kind of him. And because I was saving the second one for the Plymouth. He has also donated something else which is really generous. I'm going to try and open the door. I haven't buffed these doors out yet. Oops, I just dropped the box. And it's just as you've seen it last. But we have a window. That's a really good thing. So all I have to get for this, really, the loom covers. And I have to drill the holes for the wiring into the doors, lay the door looms in, and then I can put those black covers on. Then the carpet can go in. And once the door cards come back, I can put those on. Although I will, as far as the door cards are concerned, I'll get the plastic that you get from Spotlight, which is the thick stuff they stick on tables to stop kids' textures hitting them and all that sort of stuff. I've gone out of focus. Come back. It's not going to come back. That's in focus. So I will get some of that plastic and make up the door card protectors, if you know what I mean, the plastic protectors. And it's good. I mean, I haven't got the... these were originally the ledges that held the glass up, and I never had those. But, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty pleased with how it's all going. So the Sigma's outside, and it's covered up, and it's dark out there. It is 10 to 9 at night. So the video on the Sigma and the video for the XC will be tomorrow. Today's Friday. And so those videos will come out tomorrow. Once I've got I have to paint, I want to try and paint the Sigma's engine bay and get it finished this weekend. I think clear it next weekend. And then I can fit the engine bay out, I can put the wiring back in, all this sort of stuff. I will get the heater core pressure tested. And once that's done, I can paint the dash parts, I can put all that in. It's actually quite a quick job putting that car back together. It's just a matter of getting a carpet and stuff like that. I dropped $840 on glass yesterday. I had both back windows. Both back windows have the tags for the rear mist, but it meant getting 2 new windshields, which are, of course, tinted band laminated. So that will be quite quick once I get rolling with it. There was something else I was going to mention, the engine. I wasn't going to pull the pan off, do you know what I mean? But I'm going to. I'll bring the engine stand over, get it up on the engine stand with the thing on it, and I'm going to drop the sump, have a bit of a look. I'm in 2 minds about that. Eventually the car's going to be turbocharged, but I'm not going to turbocharge that engine. The Mitsubishi engines are very, very easy to take out. This one's got some mileage on it, and it's dirty inside, but it has good compression. There's wear on the chains, but it's all good. I turbocharged the first one at 90,000 kilometers, did about 20 in it, maybe not even that, maybe did 15 or so thousand Ks, sold it to a friend's son. He did about 100 in it. Then I bought the car back, and it was still healthy. He replaced the turbocharger, or at least he had it rebuilt once or twice, but the engine was always healthy. When we sold it eventually, we found out the block was cracked, but it still ran well. Now this one, if I put forced induction in that, it's going to blow out rings in no time. It's just at that age where it's okay if you use it, it's okay if you don't race it, which you wouldn't race one of those anyway, But if you put too much duress into it, it's going to fail. So the best way of doing that is to get a little winter project job, a little 4-cylinder 2-litre, and stick turbo pistons in. We'll stay away from decompression plates, which mine had, and did all that mileage with 2 head gaskets and still never failed. But we'll do one up with new chains, new pistons, new bearings, new gaskets, and just swap them over. The same as we're doing with the XD. The XD, I have a 351 engine here, but it still runs alright, but it's tired. But I'm not touching that engine. I'll bring it in, I'll make a project with it. It'll be a food blender or something with a 302 on it, I don't know. But when we eventually get this 351 built, we'll just swap them over. I'm in a situation with lack of space. I can't have any more dead cars. And further to that, I'm a little bit ashamed because I always vowed that I wouldn't have any dead cars outside this garage. I didn't care what was in here, but they had to be all registered and running if there was anything in the driveway. And of course, got a Sigma with no wheels on it. Anyway, I think I've covered everything now. Lots and lots of projects coming up. More on the bikes as the weather cools down. I need to get the 750 finished because then I can move it. I need to get the 350 finished, although that is wheelable around. And got some lots and lots of stuff to do. There will be a video very shortly on the XD. Just before I go, I'm probably boring you now, but I rebuilt the transmission. That car spent most of the 1980s towing horses around, and the transmission overheated. It was a car my dad bought new, which I've mentioned before, but it had a dealer fitted transmission cooler, which was very small. And when I rebuilt the transmission, which was 1992, I think, or 91, I put a slightly bigger cooler on. Now I've got a PWR one, which I've got in the XW, I've had in the Galaxy as well. They're great, and I can bypass that whole radiator cooler thing. I don't like those things at all. So I'm going to do a video on that. I've got the cooler here, I've got the hose here, I've got the special clamps, well, the ones that have the longer tongue so you don't serrate the lines. I'm just waiting on the zip tie things, which I've ordered, and there'll be a little video on that as well. So look, lots and lots coming, and thanks again for all your help, and I'm very, very sorry I haven't reported to you, so to speak. You're the guys that have funded all this stuff, and I used to do cheap $2,000 cars with a 6-month sort of thing on them, and you know, I spent $1,000 on them and got $4 grand and $5 grand when I sold them, and now I'm able to do much better stuff thanks to you. So it's awesome. Thanks very much. So anyway, look, 2 videos coming tomorrow, and lots more work on the Sigma, and lots more coming up on all the other projects, including the XC. So thanks again. Until tomorrow, I'll see you then.